In this video, you will learn what an astrological birth chart is, what it symbolizes, and how you can benefit from knowing and working with your own astrological birth chart. Hello and welcome to Living in Cycles. My name is Sindy. I'm an astrologer and I help you to learn from the past, understand the present, and prepare for the future. The topic of this video is the astrological birth chart. And first of all, let's talk a bit about what the astrological birth chart is technically. So technically, the astrological birth chart is a two-dimensional graphic that displays the relationship between planet Earth and specifically your birth location and the heavenly spheres, including the planets, at a certain moment in time. Your first breath. I will put an example chart into this video so you see how such an astrological birth chart can look like. The chart can look differently. All astrological birth charts contain the basic structure. They are similar, but what you actually find in a chart depends a bit on when you get a reading from an astrologer, what the reading is focused on, and also what school of astrology your astrologer belongs to. And if you create a chart for yourself on those free online sources, for example, astroseek.com, you of course can choose yourself what factors you want to have displayed into your chart. But one example I will put here as an overlay. So maybe you have never seen an astrological chart. Now you can see one example of an astrological birth chart. So your chart is very unique and it is specific to your individual. It is nothing like anyone else has. Your unique birth chart is specifically a plan for your life. And now we are already getting into the symbolism. I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's get into what the astrological birth chart actually means. I came up with three different things. So the first is that your astrological birth chart is a blueprint of your life. The second is that your astrological birth chart is a way how you can connect to the divine, to spirit. And third, your astrological birth chart is a tool that helps you to grow. Let's get into all those three different things that the birth chart represents into more depth. Diving deep. Okay, so starting with the blueprint. Before you can understand how the astrological birth chart, how your personal chart is a blueprint, you have to understand that you are a thought of the divine, of spirit, that God embodied into a physical body on planet Earth at the moment of your first breath. And this idea is represented by your birth chart. So the birth chart is the blueprint of that idea the spirit had of you. That blueprint, your birth chart, is the starting point of your life. It's the foundation. It includes all the ingredients for the experiences you came here on planet Earth. I personally like to talk about the birth chart as the seed of life because it reflects what the chart is. You see, a seed contains all the information the new life that sprouts from the seed needs. If you have an acorn, you plant it into the soil. You will not get a birch out of it. An oak will grow out of that acorn. Of course, it depends on where you plant that acorn. And this is another thing you can read from your blueprint, from your birth chart. Your chart is not only about you. It's not only yourself. Of course, it tells you something about your traits, about your characteristics, but it also tells you something about the frame, the soil you grow up in. It gives insights into the circumstances of your life, into the relationships you have with other people, And for example, you might know people, siblings that are very close to each other in their age. Some siblings, they only have, shorter than a year age gap. And they basically grow in the same family, in the same culture, during the same time, but still they're very, very different, and they talk very differently, and they experience very differently their relationships to their parents and each other. And this has to do with their birth charts. They have different charts. And your chart tells you something about how you experience your relationship with your mother, with your father, with your siblings, and with your friends and your partners. What you also find in your chart, in your blueprint, is the challenges and also the possibilities that you face during your life. Right from the start, when you were born, you can see what areas of your life, what sectors are the more challenging ones, and what are the topics in life that are more easy to you. Your chart is also your energy signature. When you are born, at the moment of your first breath, your body and your soul finally conjoin, or this is the final stage of spirit and soul meeting, merging with the body. And the energies that were present at that moment when you took your first breath, they carry on in your life. You embody them. Although the time went on, of course, so the planets didn't stand still at that point in time. They moved on, life moved on. You embody those energies. You carry that energy always with you, no matter where you go. When you go to your workplace, when you meet somebody in a restaurant or at the grocery store, you carry the energies with you. And even when you not talk anything, when you don't do anything, you emanate this energy. And the energy signature you carry also invokes specific feelings in other people. So sometimes you might meet people and they don't say a word, but you can feel something. People feel different. Your astrological birth chart is also the root. We already talked about the seed of life, but another symbol you can use is the root. And sometimes the birth chart is referred to as the radix or radix chart. Radix means root in Latin. And this is a very apt symbol for the birth chart, because from the birth chart you can calculate additional charts and your life cycles. So at the bottom, at the root, you have your birth chart, and then you can, for example, calculate a chart for each year of your life, starting with your birthday or around your birthday, when the sun returns to the exact degree where it was when you were born. So these so-called solar return charts tell you something about the energy setup and the quality of time during the next year of your life. But also your life cycles, your phases, they are very unique, and they all stem from this root chart. So the chart is like the seed, the root from which the tree finally sprouts and blossoms at some point. So this was the blueprint part of what your astrological birth chart is. It really is the blueprint for your life, the map of your life. It represents all the ingredients you carry inside of you, and it also tells you how your life unfolds. Now let's get into the second symbolism of your chart, and this is that your astrological chart is a way through which you can connect to the divine, to spirit. And of course, when you study your chart and your life cycles, you begin to wonder how it is possible that at the moment of your first breath, all this information about your different life phases, about your characteristics, about your experiences can be known when you didn't even live one single day. Also, you will wonder about your purpose. So when all those phases are already set, what does it point to? Is there a destiny? What about fate and free will? What about your relationships, your partners? Is this all predetermined, or how much can you interfere with all these phases and with your traits. And also you will, of course, wonder about where all this information comes from and what comes after you leave this plane. What about the afterlife? Is there an afterlife? What about eternity and time in general? What is time? Does it end? So all those questions will actually lead you to go deeper into your relationship with the divine. At this point, I also want to say that you always have a relationship with the divine, with spirit. That's where you came from. This relationship never breaks. It is never lost. It is always there. It's your birthright. So you don't need anybody to save you or to guide you to have a relationship with God or Goddess. You already have this relationship. You might not be conscious about it. You might not be thinking about it for a phase in your life, but you always have this relationship. So you can right now, from where you are, you can feel that relationship if you are open to it. And this is what working with your astrology chart actually does. It helps you to open space, to receive messages from the divine, to have conversations with spirit, with God, with Goddess, and to receive guidance. Now let's get into the third symbolism of your chart, which is that your astrological birth chart is a tool that helps you to grow. Of course, studying your chart helps you to gain consciousness. And once you are conscious about who you are and what your life is made of, you are presented with the opportunity to use that consciousness, that knowing, to improve your life and yourself. If you don't have that consciousness, you might just have a feeling, a hunch. You might even understand that there are repeating patterns in your life, but you might not really understand when this happens and why, and you might not have words to explain it, and you might hit your head against the wall. But when you use your chart and your astrological cycles, you get a language that helps you to express what you experience, and you also have that tool that shows you what was going down when you experienced 10 years ago something. You can study your past with your astrology cycles, but also you can look into the future. You can see the connections of different phases in your life, so you can prepare for the future. And when you have this consciousness, it in a way also helps you to calm down, because there is a time for everything. If you face challenging times, these phases will be over at some point. A new phase will start. And also when you enjoy joyous phases, you really can be grateful and you actually see it. Sometimes if you are not conscious, you might actually live a very good phase in your life and you might be happy, but then you have people around you that are very negative, and your joy might actually be pressed down by other people. But once you understand, hey, I have this joy in my life, I can be grateful, it helps you more to really see what's in your life and what is coming from other people. So this is one way how astrology is a tool to help to see what's there. So you understand the patterns in your life, in your behavior, and this, of course, helps you also to understand your relationships and their dynamics. So your energy setup, the way you are built, interferes with other people's birth charts and energy signatures. So you understand that your relationship with each person is unique. You also understand that your relationships have unique challenges and also possibilities. And by knowing them, by naming them, by actually having a language to talk about them, you, of course, can do much more improvement than if you didn't have the possibility to actually have that language, to learn that language. So you are more conscious about your relationship dynamics and their challenges and possibilities. You know what's there and what is not. Your astrological birth chart is also an active tool. It's not something that you print out one time and then you stare at it for the rest of your life. It is something that that moves, that actually starts to live like you. So besides that, you can calculate additional charts from the root chart, from your birth chart, and calculate also different life cycles. You can also understand how the current quality of time interferes with you. So you might have been watching to monthly astrology forecasts. And at some point, you might have been feeling like, yeah, this is so on spot and this is something that I experience right now. And during another time, you might wonder, yeah, that doesn't show up in my life. It's not working or something. And why this is that your unique chart and life cycles are set up very well uniquely. And your birth chart is not active in its entirety all the time. It is active one part at a time. And depending what is active, and there are different techniques that help you to understand which planets are the most significant at a certain time. Depending on that, the current transits, for example, are more or less significant for you. So by studying your birth chart and studying your life cycles, your activations, you also get more out of monthly astrology forecasts because you know what is significant for you and what not. All in all, your astrology chart, your birth chart, the root chart, is a valuable tool that helps you to improve your life and yourself, to grow as a human being. And this is what I wish you will learn through following my channel. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you get more information on how to use your personal astrology and how to make the best out of each phase of your life. I hope that this was helpful for you, and I wish you all the best for studying your chart, getting into a deeper relationship with the divine, understanding your life purpose, and helping yourself and other people to improve your life, their lives, and to be a better human being. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.